Hello there. It's been a long time since my last video, once again. Unfortunately, I've been very busy recently with doing work, especially with a deadline at work. Nevertheless, I wanted to take the time and share my first ride this year to my workplace with you. The weather is finally getting better and the fresh green is everywhere. And all the blossoms of spring. The bike I decided to ride is my 1987 Giant Expedition. I bought this bike last year for 150 euros and in the meantime did a lot of upgrades to it. For two reasons I've not been presenting this bike for quite some time. First is that I still wasn't happy with many parts on it, and second is I enjoy my 26-inch mountain bikes with wider tires in general more than a bike with narrower tires like this. Nevertheless, an old touring bike like the Giant Expedition can be a very convenient and also fast bike. As you can see here, it's certainly capable of also going on gravel, even though I have to admit it's less comfortable than going on one of my 26-inch mountain bike with their wider tires. So let's do a little bike check. This is a 62 centimeter version of a 1987 Giant Expedition. The drivetrain is Shimano Dior MT60. The first indexed Shimano Dior group set. The brakes are cantilevers from that time and they do their job fairly well. As a rear rack I have a tubeless Cosmo here and the rear light is my favorite rear light, the Busch & Müller top light line. And there is a lock directly attached to the frame, here to the seat stays, very convenient. Tires are Continental Grand Prix Urban, 35mm wide, and fenders are SKS Blumels 45. And the rim in the rear is the original Volver. In the front I replaced the wheel with a dynamo wheel. So let's go to the front. Here you can see the original stem shifters, 6-speed indexed and friction for the front chainring. Stem is Grand Compe and very shiny, isn't it? The handlebar is a Deda Speciale wrapped in cotton handlebar tape and the original brake levers. Front brake is also a candy and the light is a Busch & Müller Luxus U with also USB charging functionality. And I have a Tubus Tara stainless steel front rack and of course a Fahrerlatz mud flap. The dynamo hub is a DH3N71 by Shimano. Some no-name pedals at the moment, 2 bottle cages, a pump, original seat post and a Brooks Swift saddle I got used from Kleinanzeigen. These original brake levers are very interesting as they allow for multiple hand positions and braking at the same time. Even though these additional levers can be quite clacky and make noises on all kinds of uneven ground. And as far as I know, these bikes were made in the Netherlands by Koga, or Giant had a factory there and Koga assembled them, something like that. My favorite detail are these reinforced eyelets for the screws that hold the bottle cages. I also like the color scheme and the Giant logo in the front. Little metal plate. Well, yeah, that's the bike. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. As you know me, mostly assembled from parts I bought used, like the front wheel, the saddle, the racks, of course some new parts also, the fenders and the tires and cool stop brake pads. And rides like a charm, I would say. Of course, not super stiff, but that's not what I look for in a bicycle anyways. A bit wobbly sometimes, but also absorbing quite some shocks from the surface due to the steel frame. I wouldn't say it's much faster with its slightly bigger wheel circumference than my 26-inch mountain bikes with well-rolling tires, but I feel like it holds the speed a bit better than the smaller 26-inch wheels, but that's only a feeling. As said before, I bought this bike used in early summer last year, and for that I went to Ammersee, a lake south of Munich. Very, very beautiful area there. And it was a nice Sunday morning when I went there by train to pick up the bike, and the owner was very friendly. It was a woman, and this was the bike of her late husband. So yeah, a bit sad background, but I will keep the bike well and ride it. And picking it up and taking it home from this beautiful area is a good memory. The vicious handlebar turning slowly. There's a great quality made in Japan kickstand on this bike. It's Maruichi, but I think it's slightly too short for the bike. I think it's for 26-inch wheels, I'm not sure. So it's prone to falling over a bit, unfortunately. I'm always very careful. Towards the end of the working day, I went out on campus for some workout and to enjoy all the blossoms. This is the most beautiful time of the year for being at this campus outside of Munich. Sometimes I'm mad at it for being so far away from the city center, but this time of year it's certainly just so nice. From the front, this bike looks very slender, unusual to me with all my 26-inch mountain bikes with wider tires. And wide handlebars I also like. Except for the light maybe, which is the biggest I know so far. When I left in the evening, I decided that I would not take the same way back. That's a habit I know from my late grandfather. When he picked me up somewhere when I was a school kid, I was sometimes so annoyed because he often took me back a different route home, and sometimes as a school kid I just wanted to get home quickly to watch TV or mostly eat something probably. And my grandpa always wanted to show me something in our neighborhood, in our area. And he would then explain me or show me some place and tell me some stories. Back then, as a teenager, I was sometimes annoyed by that. Sometimes I appreciated it. And now I just appreciate it. So I'm following this habit today and taking the bike back along normal streets. I wanted to get some riding impression on tarmac compared to the gravel I had on my way to work. So this meant going through the town of Garching, close to the TUM campus, and then following Freisinger Landstraße from Garching to Munich. Typical sight in this area of Germany, nice mountain bikes all over the place. After the first meters on smooth tarmac, I was convinced this bike is rather home on tarmac. Even though I have to say, not much faster than on the gravel path by the Isar, and the bumps are certainly also noticeable in a same or similar manner than the bumps or roughness on gravel. So not much more comfortable, except for perfectly smooth tarmac maybe. On this route there's a very long straight from Garching to Munich. After 6 or 7 kilometers, the route takes me into some nicer and quieter area with pretty houses. That's where one gets closer to Englischer Garten, and here the outskirts of the big park start. These additional brake levers wobbling once I don't hold them, but they're so convenient. As you can see here, so many possibilities to brake. No matter how I grab these handlebars, I can always brake quickly. The English Garden is so vast. I think one of the biggest city parks in the world. Apparently also other people appreciate these old road bikes. I thought about just randomly saying hello, even though there was a stranger, but at that point I was too tired already and decided to further ride home. I wouldn't describe myself as particularly shy, but also not that extroverted either. The last kilometers into the city are a bit strange on this route, especially here where the cycling lane forces you to go underneath some street here to the right, even though I just want to continue by the Isar into the city. So yeah, I normally prefer the route you saw in the beginning of the video on the gravel by the river Isar. The remaining kilometers were quite hard then, but I was happy about the weather and happy about my first full commute to work this spring. And with this, I want to conclude today's video. How have you been enjoying spring so far? Is it even spring where you are from? And have you had some nice bicycle rides recently? Please let me know in the comments. And otherwise, please like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Oh wow, you have waited for the very end of the video. I can't let this video end without some bonus material. So here is how I wrapped this cotton bar tape around the handlebars. I used two colors, light gray and blue, and first stuck them to each other and afterwards tightly wrapped them around the handlebar, which you have to do really tight, otherwise you will have some wrinkles. And I couldn't avoid all wrinkles, as you might have seen. This double colored cotton bar tape technique I copied from the YouTuber Brandon Noyd, who is I think an Australian cyclist and bicycle connoisseur, I'd say. After finishing the job and being sufficiently happy with it, I started to use some hemp twine and wrap it like this here to fix it in the end. Maybe there would be a different technique, but this is just what I had in my head for trying it the first time. So I let one end tightened underneath the wrapping I did, and then in the end I did a knot to hold it all together. And I also wrapped the little shifters, which originally had some rubber covers, but those were already lost when I bought the bike. I then installed some bar end plugs, and what other bar end plugs can you use than wine corks or these by Nitto. Beautiful. Many years ago my brother had installed these on his NJS K-Ring track bike, and ever since then I'm in love with their looks. To finish it all up, I of course cut the excess hemp twine and used some shellac to kind of seal the cotton bar tape. It's not perfect, you can see some wrinkles in the bar tape. I didn't manage to get off there, even though I wrapped it as tightly as possible, but I'm nevertheless happy with the result. As mentioned before in some of my videos, I don't need 100% perfect. I think perfect is the enemy of funny. So yeah, if you also watched this part, please let me know what you think about the cotton bar tape. It's not the softest, of course, but I like its look and also the grip feel. Alright, that's not really it. Thank you and bye bye.